So the question then is the Beothuk. Okay, they were, if you look at that map that we had, oops, just a minute. If we look at that map that we had previously, you can find that again. Oops. Like that. So if you have, see if I can find it here. I can get that other map back up here, but map of Canada, do that. There we go. See, they're on Newfoundland here. You look at that. Beothuk, we're here in Newfoundland. So what happened is settlers came here. And what did Shauna did that say happened? Why all of a sudden is she the only one left? What's that? So one thing is there was massacres was the one word used. So they murdered and hunted them for bounty because they thought they were thieves. So you gotta get rid of these thieves. And again, normally, if they were other white people that were thieves, they wouldn't have done that, right? But they're lesser peoples, so we just killed them. But is that all that happened?
No, the diseases.
Disease. Another thing is disease. So all of a sudden, we were talking about this coronavirus and how we just all need to be exposed to it, and then we'll have immunity to it, right?
But
well,
immunity isn't like it was back in the day. On that subject.
Oh.
Start comparing immunity to now to back then.
Okay. So you're saying immunity is what, better or worse?
A lot better than it used to be.
A lot better than it used to be. Okay. But the other thing is that you say, so you think you had coronavirus?
I feel like everybody probably.
Everybody did? So the
Not
thing is,
everybody.
Last
Okay.
winter,
Not
it
everybody.
had to went around last
Okay.
winter.
Yeah.
They weren't
so
letting
They
it
even
out.
told everybody that it was out sooner before, they just didn't have the testing and test about it.
right.
Like doctors.
So-
everybody even admitted it.
So probably it's not going to be as dangerous now.
The second
That
round
it's-
shouldn't be
as dangerous. Okay, that's the thing you have to remember too about the First Nations peoples is they didn't have certain diseases that we had in Europe. And so they had no resistance to it. And therefore, some of these diseases that Europeans had kind of grown an immunity to, not immunity in the sense that they wouldn't get sick at all, but in the sense they wouldn't die or they wouldn't die as often. Aboriginal people did not have this. And so disease, I can tell you that the other one, of course, is before I get to disease, I'm going to tell you starvation. Remember, they moved further west to avoid contact with white people. Why? Well, because they were probably, they didn't trust them, or maybe they had some bad experiences with them, or maybe because they caught diseases from them. So they moved further west. What was the problem with moving further west?
No.
Food was scarce.
And the thing is, if you don't have proper nutrition, you don't have a healthy gut,
And
which
if-
you can't fight disease.
Yeah, and if you don't have, right, so they were probably, they probably didn't have a strong an immunity just because they weren't as healthy, right? Because they didn't have the diet that they needed. And again, so disease, well, that's not the fault of the Europeans. That's not their fault. Okay, starvation, that's kind of their fault, but in an indirect way, right? Where, yeah, they moved away. Well, as a result of moving away from white people, they found that this new area they moved to was not as good for finding food, and that's not their traditional land, so it's new to them. They have to learn to adapt again. But massacres are the Europeans' fault. So it was a combination of these things. Any one of these things, if it was just one of these three, or even two of these three, we probably wouldn't have the problem that we did, but we had all three of them. So, and I will tell you, the only other thing I want to say about diseases is, by far, there were more Aboriginal people that died from European diseases than that died from war or attacks from Europeans. Many, many, many times more. Many times more. The high majority of people, the Aboriginals that were killed as a result of Europeans coming here, was disease. That was the number one thing by far. So would you call this extinction or genocide? Now, William Cormack said they're extinct. They became extinct, and they did. There's no Beothuk anymore. Would you agree? Is that extinction or is it genocide?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both, right? Extinct. They did become extinct partially due to the killing of, we're going to kill all of these people because they're thieves, right?
The slaughter still came in effect to finish it off.
Yeah. Right. So it was a number of different factors. One of them there was a deliberate attempt to kill all of these people because they're thieves. And again, they're not the same race as us. They're lesser people. So therefore, yeah, just we're justified in killing them, and we don't feel it's like the Mississippi burning. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
That's about in the South, in the 1960s. There's these civil rights workers, these three civil rights workers, one black man and two white people, were killed because they were trying to go down there and desegregate it. And anyway, the FBI agent was Glenn. Oh, what was his name? Gene Hackman. He played the best. He played the best bad guy ever. But that was actually the one movie where he was a good guy, but he was still a tough character. So he said to that one Southern racist, he said, "Would you kill a black man? You know, for not even breaking the law?" He says, I wouldn't give it any more thought than wringing a cat's neck, he said. Okay. It's different. Killing a white guy, you're not going to just go around killing a white guy. But if it's a black guy, wouldn't give it any more thought than wringing a cat's neck. Okay, and that was the same attitude.
If I was laughing at your face was blue and green.
Oh, blue and green face?
Yeah, you turned.
Oh, got a little blue,
It was a horrible
a
time.
little yellow.
You feel all right?
Oh, no, it's too dark down there. I was going to get some blue. Some blue? Oh, there, I got a little blue. I'm like Captain America now.
There you go.